Hello everyone and welcome back to Send It's Weather channel. First video I think I've done with the Christmas hat on. Merry Christmas to you all. Bit early to say, but Merry Christmas to you all nonetheless. 9 days away, so it's not far away. Have all of you got your decorations prepared? Have you got your Christmas tree up? I certainly have, just up here. Little Christmas tree. Cheers mum for buying it, mate. It's actually quite nice. All lit up, especially when it's in the darkness. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get on talking about the weather. So we're going to be looking at the 10-day prospects. We're going to be having a look at, obviously, the Christmas period, which I will say signals, if you want, cold aren't looking great. In fact, looking not great at all. There's nothing in the model output to suggest a cold Christmas. However, there's a little bit of change before Christmas, around the 21st, 22nd. So I'll have a quick look at that before anything. We'll also have a look at the longer range into January. We've got the cup of tea, Yorkshire tea, if anyone's wondering. And we'll get straight on with it. Almost brought the table. So, if you do enjoy our content on this channel, then please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are on the road to 600 subscribers already. Wow, 600. Thank you all so much for watching the channel and supporting me make these videos. And if you've got any criticism, please leave them in the comments. So, from the outset, on Monday, the 16th of December, when I'm recording this, at 6 o'clock, we have high pressure centred towards France. And we have low pressure towards Greenland and just to our north, bringing in quite a mild, not particularly mild at the surface, southwesterly. It's reached double digits in many places today. Just because the upper air temperatures are not spectacular mild, but they are above average. And as we go through the next couple of days, the winds turn from a southwesterly into more of a southerly, so very mild Tuesday into Wednesday. Temperatures probably getting up to 13, 14 or 15 degrees, maybe even into the south, before a very unsettled spell of weather as the Atlantic returns around Wednesday, bringing some very wet and windy weather for the north especially. However, winds as that low pressure clears towards Scandi turn back into the north, bringing back down, as you'll see here, the -5 line. It gets pretty far southwards there. Obviously, it's just a ridge, so nothing in the way of precipitation really, besides maybe a few little winteriness spells on the high ground in the north before that ridge topples, and we go into more of a westerly, and then more of a westerly pattern. However, there's a little bit of uncertainty with the positioning of this high pressure to the south, which is the Azores high, and also the position of the low pressure to the north, depend on the exact air mass of the exact track, whether it's a west or a northwesterly, could depict the air mass. On this run, it is cooling down, but only really cold in the north with probably a few wintry showers. But some of the runs have had it further southwards today. It's something to watch out for, but nothing too major. However, after that, high pressure begins to become dominant and begins as we go into Christmas Eve, as you'll just see at the top right, the 24th of December. It is bringing in southwesterly winds with high pressure towards France, bringing up a very mild southwesterly wind, and into Christmas, that is what you call a classic mild Christmas. The upper airs aren't as warm as some of the runs have shown on the GFS today, which is what I'm looking at first. Still pretty mild Christmas. The temperature's probably getting into the low double digits there. The winds continue to originate from the southwest as we go into after Christmas, Boxing Day, into the 27th and the 28th, with high pressure stuck around the country. And then this is sort of a trend within the models, but we're not going to look at it too seriously because it is 10 days out, 12 days out there. But it starts to build heights to our west, and which may allow cooler conditions to return from the north. Doesn't make much of it on this run, like some of the other runs, but doesn't bring it a bit more cooler and unsettled with low pressures running in. But something to watch out for anyway. But exactly, it's nothing too interesting. Maybe a little bit of a change around the 22nd, 23rd. Keep an eye on that. It's only just come up in the modelling pattern, but kind of looks quite zonal, quite flat, quite zonal. Before the Christmas period, where it goes quite mild. In fact, very mild, especially for the south there. Next, we'll take a look at the GEM. They've just got a snapshot of Christmas Day, but let's see what it's showing for the rest of the period. Again, there's that very unsettled weather for the north. Northerly, brief northerly, turning into a ridge, so pretty dry. Probably, maybe even frosty start. But as you can see here, this is what I was talking about. On Sunday the 22nd, a high pressure slightly further out in the Atlantic, allowing more of a northwesterly airflow, which brings in slightly cooler air from the north there. As you can see, the -5 line does get in, which may allow, probably not, but could allow The air masses are very obviously diet, and it actually like the Pennines could see a couple of wintry flakes mixed into a rain shower. As you can see, that stays around for a little while before the high topples over the top of the country, and then into, again, a very mild southwesterly pattern. Only 1 or 2 runs were showing a colder pattern for Christmas. This is the GEM, in case I didn't mention, the Canadian model, and that is again showing a very mild southwesterly pattern with the 10-degree ice firm into parts of central Britain there. I wouldn't take it too far, too literally, on Boxing Day. It is a way away, but it just shows the potential for these air masses when they're originating from the southwest and how high they could be. Next, we'll have a look at the ECM finally, with these medium to long range models. Obviously, we're focusing on daytime, man. They're most interesting to look in the longer term. Actually shows a very similar pattern to the GM, however, not bringing in as cooler air masses. Just bringing in a cooler air mass actually brings the risk of a little bit of winteriness. On the lower end of the ECM ensemble scale, though, that actually does possibly indicate there could be winteriness. Then builds in that high pressure from the southwest and brings in some extremely mild air masses. Look, the 10-degree ice firm is covering the country there. Temperature deviation will not load, but it was showing earlier 8 to 10 degrees above average, which is ridiculous. Into Boxing Day, the highest temperature's kind of reduced, but with this sort of pattern, especially in the southwest, we're away from the southwesterly winds. In the southwest, you could actually see an inversion with these really mild air masses aloft, but at the surface, it might feel quite cold, to be fair, but obviously that's something to watch out for. And if the high stays around for a few days, could be again showing a similar pattern to the GFS here, with high pressure beginning to build out to our west, trying to build down a cold northerly, and actually does successfully bringing down the -5 line. But again, it's extended range, nothing to worry about, and not focusing on that today too particularly. But the Christmas period anyway, it looks quite mild, looks pretty set on. But between the 22nd and 23rd, something to keep an eye on, and I'll keep you posted on it with any updates. Just wanted to show these, very tentative with these updates, so I just want to show you the pressure patterns to say what they are showing, and probably the title relates to January and Christmas at the same time. So week 1 is the 16th to 23rd of December. This is the mean sea level pressure anomalies. So the first week is showing high pressure out to in the Atlantic and low pressure towards Scandinavia. You'd expect the winds to come in from the northwest, from a colder or cooler northwesterly. However, that's not happened, and the temperature anomalies are 1 to 3 degrees above average. So quite close, but not good enough. Week 2 is where the very mild temperatures come in, which is showing 3 to 6 degrees above average on this week, by the way, with high pressure over and just to the west of the country, and winds originate from off the Atlantic, but more from a southwesterly, with low pressure running to the north and the troughs digging into Eastern Europe there, into the likes of just into Italy, where all the cold air is actually going. But then week 3 we see a change as we go into the end of December into the beginning of January. High pressure begins to actually migrate northwards into the Atlantic, a proper mid-Atlantic ridge extending from Spain up to Greenland, low pressure towards Scandinavia, and that would bring in a quite cold northerly wind there. Just tentative signs. It has been showing up a little bit in the model output, and there is a drop occurring, but again, it's a long way out. Nothing to be concerned about, particularly at this moment. But just want to show you a little bit of a teaser into the long range. Now, as you can see, as it goes through, January it shows very mild patterns, to be fair, with winds in from the southwest on the week 4. Week 5 shows a little bit of a cooler possibility, but won't be anything particularly interesting. Week 6 also shows a very similar pattern. So all in all, nothing too out of the ordinary in the forecast. Maybe something around the 26th to 23rd. I feel like I said that about 5 times. But something just to keep an eye out on the longer range. Christmas looks mild, so if you enjoy a mild Christmas, I'm looking at you, Hazel, if you're watching this video. No, you like a mild Christmas. Then you'll like this update. My Jingle Bell hat is showing a sad face because I love cold and, well, the cold weather, and it's not going to happen, but it works for some. Doesn't work for all of us, but I'm sure we'll get a cold snap at some point, won't we? Cheers all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next weather video. Bye bye everyone.